Right, okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to 3R Guitars. Yeah, this is way after I've painted the 53 Les Pauls. They are sitting somewhere now and nice and warm where I'm leaving the paint to set. And I've been trying to do the videos. I'm on about part 15 now, and I'm very aware that it's getting so mixed up. I've got so many videos, and with the finishing, about halfway through, I changed around and ended up painting the one that was going to be the wood grain back. I ended up going all gold with, and the one that was going to be all gold I ended up going with the wood grain back, and that worked out really well actually, because there was a different shade in the wood on the between the neck and the body on the one that I was going to do the wood grain back on. And then the guy who wants one of them actually preferred that one, and he wanted it all gold. So I thought, okay, then I'll sand the finish off. I mean, you can never do too much sanding anyway. And I changed around, went all gold with that one, and so my painting videos were like all over the place, because I seemed to get, like, you know, some way down the line to getting them finished, and then change of heart and went back, and as a result, like, everything got mixed up, and I've really got to go through each video and decide, you know, to get some sort of chronological order in it without it just getting too frigging confusing. I also had a change in heart with the one that I'm that I'm sort of keeping for myself, and I decided, because I had a 52 tailpiece, I decided to use that because I really like the look, but it has a lot of inherent crappiness about it, sort of thing, in the design. So, but with the increased neck angle that I did, I can actually do it properly with a lot of jiggery pokery. So the next part of the video you're going to actually see that the guitars are some way finished, and then I turn my attention to doing the bridges. So one bridge, the first one I'll show is the 53 with the normal wraparound tailpiece, sort of this one. And you know, the problem with these is when you try and fit them on, they're at a tipped angle, so the strings go through and very awkwardly, you know, go through an angle, sort of thing. So you can't just line up the holes with where you want the strings to go, because the strings come across a little bit by the time they, you know, by the time they come off the tailpiece. So first video you'll see is me like fitting this bridge basically, and what I want to do is actually get it mocked up on there tight enough that I can actually string the instrument with the top and bottom E string, so I can check the tilt angle to get the right intonation and stuff, and all that, and string alignment with the neck and pickups. So that's the first video you'll see of me doing that with this to get the bridge in the right place. So that's the all gold one. This is going to be going on now. The other one is going to be very early 53 with the wrap round, and what I've actually done is I've built a completely new string anchor kind of bar. I mean, the old 53 string anchor bar, let me try and find it. is, you know, is basically so crude. It's got no intonation on it, it's got no nothing, and obviously the string's wrapped round underneath. I mean, basically it's a piece of junk, isn't it, really? But anyway, so I've made one with the intonation saddles on it. The strings go through the front, wrap round and over the saddles, and then I've got string posts in it. These string posts are also fractionally adjustable in length, because they've got, I mean, I'll go into details anyway when I make it, but this is going on the one of the 53s, and I absolutely love the look of it. And you know, with these, I mean, the old arrangement on the 53, the bridge actually just rested on the body on sides of little conical things, so the whole thing could, you know, when you put your palm on it, would move. A bloody disaster. There is a firm called Mojo Music or something, or whatever, who do a replacement one of these bars that the strings will go over on a 52, but it still does that, which is detrimental. But this sort of addresses all that. But anyway, what I'm going to do is all the next videos are going to be me doing the bridges, and the thing is that I want that, you know, I want to do the finishing all in one go kind of thing, and I've got a lot of sorting out to do with those videos. The other thing is this phone is making a right, well, probably the operator actually is making a right pig's ear of, the videos seem to be coming out in order, and then all of a sudden they're all over the damn place, so I've got to look at all of them. But anyway, so bridges next, and then on to finishing. Cool beans. And you can see I'm on my next project here. There's a bit of a hint there. While it's drying, I've got to do guitar work, holy crap. So anyway, thumbs up, and happy Christmas to all of you, and a great new year, and let's hope you've got loads of money in your Christmas stocking so you can buy some guitars off me. But have a great one anyway, and all the best to all of you for looking at me videos and stuff, and let's see what we get up to next year, and thank you very much for watching. Right, well, hi there, going back to this bridge malarkey. Like, the problem with these wraparound bridges, the old ones, is that they don't have any like string guides, so you know the string will slide along the you know, they don't have any string notches, so the string will slide basically along the top of the tailpiece, and when you wrap the string through them, like, because the tailpiece is at an angle, the string doesn't come over the top where the entry hole is for it. You know, you push it in the front, pull it through, but because the thing's at an angle, the string comes off, you know, quite markedly. I mean, you can see on there, you know, the hole for the string is basically like here, and the string is like over there by a good few millimeters, sort of thing. So it's very difficult to actually line the bridge up where, you know, where you want it. You can't do it on the holes because everything will be canted over to the bass side. So what I like to do, as you can see here, I've temporarily fitted a couple of machine heads at this end, and then I did mark, you know, from my plan where the bridge posts were, kind of thing, and drew a line across. You could see this line here of the angle, and roughly just like, you know, I mean, it's really tricky. It's like wrestling an octopus, I suppose. You know, I've clamped the bridge on with this spacer piece of wood here, and I have got some tension on the strings, because you need to get, you know, you need to get tension. Yeah, lost it there. Don't know, the bridge flipped up a little bit, but it you know, so you want enough tension on the bridge that you know, the strings are following the line that they're one over the bridge. So you need to get, you know, I like to get everything, you know, in place with the bridge, with the strings running down the neck. I mean, I've got the nut in place, and I've put a couple of very small string slots in the nut, nothing to depth or anything like that. And you know, so now at least I'm fairly confident that the strings are running, you know, as confident as I can be. I think that the strings are running down the you know, the neck in the right place. The last thing I dislike seeing very much is, you know, when you've got you know, the strings canted to one side of the neck or something like that. I just think it looks like awful. And there's nothing you can do on these bridges, because with it, if you've got a 2-pneumatic bridge, you know, especially when you buy them, if they haven't got any slots cut in them for the strings, you know, you can slightly file the slot over to the left or over to the right a little bit, and no one notices anything. But with the wraparound bridge, you can't move. There's no lateral movement on the bridge at all. You're stuck with it. So, you know, I do like to get, you know, the strings on, and you know what it's like when it's playing. But it's really friggin' fiddly. That's the main problem with it. Now, you know, the problem I've got now is you can't check the intonation. That's all I can go by. Is, you know, I've got, like, you know, my scale rule. I can just, you know, I've got the 12th fret here, so I can just basically like double it to the 12th fret, and you know, I'm exactly, you know, I've got this on the, it's just really awkward to wrestle with these things, but you know, I'm on the 12th fret there, and you can see I'm on the 12th fret on the bridge. So you know, the intonation is going to be very close, but fortunately on these bridges you have got you know, you've got these grub screws that will give you a little bit of length. The next thing, when you get the strings in the right place, get a drill, preferably one of these like bread point drills that fits exactly in the string slot, so you can just put the point of the drill in and drill a little marking hole. I'm going to try and find one now, and I'll get back to you. As far as I feel now is in the right place, so I'm going to use this drill. And to be honest, you know, I've had enough. I just want to drill a hole now. So here we go. Let's. Well, that drill's as blunt as my backside, so that's no good. Find another drill. So there we go. That's drilled some pilot holes roughly in the right place as far as I'm concerned. So now I can use the drill press and drill proper 1/2-inch holes for these inserts kind of thing. So that should all be all right there. But what you know, a whole morning just getting that right is tedious. It really is. Right, hi there. I think my camera decided to pack in again. So I've drilled these 2 holes now for the bridge post inserts. They are where is the other one? They are about 1/2 inch, but I do like to mess about with different drill sizes and you know, just test fit, and that there requires a little bit of a tap, you know, a firm tap to go in, so I'm really happy with that. The problem is with the Gibson top is, you know, mahogany is quite a soft wood and maple is quite a hard wood, so you've got to kind of, you know, be a bit touchy-feely about, you know, what size hole you drill. But I'm happy with that now. I'm not sure what it ended up with, just a tad over 1/2 inch, I think. Now, I'm going to show you something that's very typically done sort of thing. You know, you want to take a bridge post out. Normally I want to take it out because I've whacked it in and thought, oh shit, I've forgotten the earthing wire from the bridge post to the cavity, and you think, oh, for God's sake, now I've got to get it out again now. Right, the way to do it now, I've partly hammered this one in. I'm not going to go all the way. One of the ways to do it with tools around your shed is get the bridge post and screw it into the insert. I mean, this is, you know, I've hammered this in a good 1/4 of the way, and it's really tight in there. So it's not easy. I'm not pulling the wool over your eyes here. Get a piece of wood, like preferably with a bit of material underneath it if you've got a finish on the body, and then stack it up so it's about level, just say above level with the bottom flange on the screw-in stud. Get a claw hammer, put it underneath there, and make sure the claw hammer is not, you know, at an angle. If you've only got one piece on, you'll be at quite an angle pulling on the bridge insert. So make sure it's about somewhere right, that the claws are level, and then you can start to lift it out. Don't keep pulling it out so it bends over. Put a taller bit of wood in to level up again. I mean, it's even best if you go slightly over, sort of thing, and then you can pull it out with that. One problem you can get, if the surface is painted, you can start pulling this out and it starts splitting the paint away. So run round the circle with the scalpel to cut through the paint, and then it won't have a tendency to lift. But what you can also do is, if you've got the bridge insert in there, if you drill a hole through your space a bit of wood so it goes over the top of it, so it will squash down on the paint, that will also help the paint stay in place. So there's a little tip for you there. But you can get a proprietary tool to do it, I think, which screws down over the top and you can screw it out. But claw hammer I find okay. Seems a bit brutal, but it will do the job safely. So what I'm gonna do next now is I want to fit these bridge inserts. So I'm gonna drill, I did it on my plan, you can see I've put a little note here, earthing wire goes through from that bridge post into the pickup cavity, through and into the watch tip. So I'll just get that done now. Hi there, just back to this earthing wire now. I've just drilled a small hole through into the pickup cavity there. This is the earth wire. It's from what I've measured from vintage guitars, it's 20 gauge, which is just under a millimetre, and this is just wire that you can buy it on a reel from craft shops, and obviously make sure, I'm not sure what this is, but I know it solders incredibly well, so it's obviously not aluminium or anything stupid. It must be a steel coated wire or something, but you know, you don't need to sand it or anything, it just solders really well, so I'm not sure, but this is 20 gauge anyway and looks about right to me. So what you've got to do, obviously push it through the hole you've drilled. Now it's not soldered or anything to the bridge posts, it's just hammered in with it. So what you have to do is bend. What I do is, like, you know, put a fairly sharp bend in it, doesn't matter, about you know, about 3/4 of the length of the bridge post, sort of like that, and just try and manhandle it kind of in the hole there, so it's down. It's quite easy to do really, and push it against the edge of the hole. Once it's there, you can just like then start tapping the we get in there now. And when you get down to the top, if you just put the one of the posts in, screw it in quite a way, because you don't want to be hammering on, you know, just a little bit of thread. Yeah, we're nearly there. There we go, I think that's perfect. And you want to hammer them in so they're just below the surface there. Now I get the other one hammered in. Of course, no earth thing on that. There we go. So after a morning's work, we finally got the bridge posts in, and yep, so that's good. Time for a cup of coffee, and we go from there. Thank you. Okay, so you know, we've got the bridge posts in. I've screwed the anchors to them, obviously, to just finish off this quickly. Just to show you how neat these have gone in. There we go, they're all neatly in now, and if we screw in these back again, and it's screwed all the way down now, and this should obviously just slip on because we were pretty careful. And there we go, that's that done. And as a final test, if we want to check, I've got an ohm meter here, so it's obviously no connection there, and this should go to 0 if you know, just check your earth strap is working. There we go, that's gone to 0 on there now, so you know that you know, you haven't done anything silly like chop the wire off by hammering that thing in or whatever, so you know you've got a good earth in. And then what you can do, you know, this will be a pain in the arse with spraying, but what you can do now is just push it through into the control cavity. Not there yet. I'll just put a little loop on the end so it won't keep catching in the wood. Here we go. So there's your earth strap coming through there. Now that's out of the way for spraying and everything like that. Muck on there, and so there we go. We're all, that's pretty neat. So, you know, all that fuss with the bloody putting the strings in and everything, but at least it pays dividends that everything is correct in the end. And one thing I want to look at now, that bridge is screwed down as hard as it will go. Just a quick look, see where our string line would be. So we'll have to, it's just perfect. You know, this is sliding over the frets now, and it literally is about just a millimetre to the bottom of the ruler. So then we've got a bit of string action to add on. So say, you know, we've also got to take the frets down a little bit. We've got to keep that in mind. But literally, I think the bridge will be, that's too high. Say we're about something like that height with the bridge. Now if we put a P90 pickup in there, you know, we're not going to have like a stupid distance between the top of the pickup and the strings, so it's not going to look funny. But that's roughly where I am with the bridge, just that much screwed up. And then if we've got the string line, if we've got the string line on there now, just about there, with an action of about, looks like about just about a millimetre, 2 millimetres or something. We've got a little bit of up and down movement, so it's just about perfect, that kind of thing. So that's really nice. So quite a fiddly job done, but now we can get on with like spraying the gold top. But I have had a change of plan. Now here we go. One of these was going to be all gold, which was going to be this one, and one of them was going to be a dark back, which was going to be this one. This one I hadn't drilled yet, because it was actually with the guy when I was doing it, sort of thing. So this one hasn't been touched. And I've had this, you know, as I talked about, I've had this 52 tailpiece, like, and which is an original, hanging around for like ages. I mean, I'm not even sure if it's off a Les Paul or anything, but it is the right bridge. And, you know, I really would like to put that on there. Now, the 52 didn't have these body inserts in it at all. It just had like little conical cylinders kind of underneath. They were like little cones underneath the tailpiece here, sort of thing. And I presume, you know, they would screw in and out, sort of thing, but the tailpiece actually rested on the top. Now, you wouldn't have got much downward string pressure. I mean, you think of the angle, you know, you've just got this little slope here on the back of the body, so the strings like would be anchored at a lower point, but you'd get very minimal downward pressure on there. Now that is going to be incredibly detrimental to the sound, I think. I mean, we've got slightly steeper neck angle in the 52. I've forgotten what we did in there, 3.5 degrees or something. So if we look at the string, what's it, you know, we've got room for this bridge piece underneath here, but, you know, the other, so we're not worried about, you know, the strings going under the tailpiece like they had to on the 52. You know, we've got enough angle on here to get the bridge to cure one problem of the 52, and that's get the strings over the bridge. But the other problem with the 52 is that I mean, it was actually 52, early 53. You know, you're going to have this action on the, I mean, you've only got 3 little screws in the end of the tailpiece. Yeah, 3 little screws in the end of the tailpiece there. And, you know, this was the other problem with it, that the, you know, the tailpiece would move side to side as you played it, and that completely bollocks the tuning sort of thing. So that is a problem I've got to get done. Now my plan is to buy a bar of aluminium, basically junk this, buy a bar of aluminium, file, I mean, here's the, you know, a compensated tailpiece that was meant to be like flat across the body sort of thing. So file ridges on this, that on the new bar, that would give me the intonation, and then have like studs into the body, like normal ABR studs, not this, not tailpiece studs size, but normal ABR studs into the bridge, into the body, and so it holds the bridge from going backwards and forwards, but also make these holes in this bridge slightly elongated, so I have got a bit of backwards and forwards adjustment, so I can use the original screws to change the intonation slightly more if I have to, and angle the bridge a little bit. So because I want to make it look as near the 52 as possible, but my first instance is to order up some aluminium bar, and I mean that aluminium bar, that's a steel bar there, but you can see it's got the 12-inch sort of radius on it, but I'll have to do something like that with aluminium. But this looks to be about 5/8 diameter, ½ an inch. Let's have a look. Let's go inches, because it's bound to be inches. Yeah, it's ½ an inch, 0.56. I'm sure that's ½ an inch, probably, if I measure it somewhere else. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just do a fractions conversion on that. 9/16 I've got there, so that looks like being 9/16 steel. Yeah, it's definitely 9/16. So if I get some 9/16 aluminium bar, and then I got something to work with, and I can just basically start messing around and seeing what I can come up with. But I think that it'll make a hell of a frigging cool looking guitar, that will. I mean, so many 52 Les Pauls have been butchered. Well, I won't say butchered, but I mean a lot of them made into like 59s and rerouted for the path pick at the humbuckers, and, you know, and re-angled neck and all that. I mean, in my view, they'd end up quite far from being the real thing. But I mean, that they're a thing of their own now, those modified 52s. They're like a conversion sort of thing, and they're well accepted sort of thing. And, you know, all the problems of 52 have been addressed with them, and you get a great guitar. So but I think now they're coming back to their own sort of thing, where, you know, people actually want early gold tops and things like that. So that's going to be my plan for this one. So we've changed course, all gold top and 52. So there we go. Thank you very much. Just, I think in the last video we were going on about this this like tailpiece, this 52 tailpiece. Now, what I wanted to do, you know, as I was saying, was make a modern like bar for it sort of thing, with compensation on it. And to that end, I bought some aluminium bar, which is a fraction more diameter than the original. The original was just over 14, and the bar I could get was 15 mil. So it's literally 1 mil bigger, but this is not exactly round. If you measure it round, it varies by about ½ a mil. So you can see there we're like pretty, you know, it's a bit bigger but not too bad. So my design is basically, I mean, the original bar is bent at, you know, at somewhere around a 12 inch radius, but to me it looks quite peaked in the middle, so I don't think anything's too accurate on there. So what I'll have to do, you know, I want this to look like this but improved. So in the first instance, what I'm going to do is copy the centers of these holes and drill through, so I can get this actually on there, kind of thing, and you know, we can see where we're going. So you know, when you look at this is the wraparound tailpiece for the 53, and you can see that the holes are in exactly the same position, sort of thing. So I can use this as a guide to drilling through the new aluminium bit. Equally, this is another wraparound tailpiece that goes kind of straight up and down across the guitar. It doesn't sit at an angle, and you know, you can see on here I've actually got, you know, that from back to front, from the most front saddle to the most back saddle is, you know, is no more than 7 millimeters. So I've got plenty of width in this to get the intonation of the saddles right. Now, right, hi there. So what I've done, I've drilled my first hole through this new bar, and you can see this is the nut that's on the end of these like arms for the tailpiece. So that now nicely fits in there. So what I want to do now is drill the other hole. So what I'm thinking is I can use the original as a template and basically like put this through, like line it up, you know, pin it on with the nut, and then I'll be able to drill through the other hole as like a guide sort of thing. So I'll just get set up and I'll show you what I'm actually doing. So, but you can get the picture. I'm just using the original as a you know, a template sort of thing to get the hole in the right place. So I'll get you set up and then we'll drill the other hole. So hi, here's what I've done. I've actually bolted the original tailpiece to this bar of aluminium through that hole that the trapeze goes through. So now I can accurately drill the other side. So I'm just gonna sort of go through this side now and drill that. Just continue drilling straight through. Aluminium is a bit of a funny metal to work in that I describe it as like very sticky. It's very soft, but you know, it tends to, you can see there how it's like, you know, sticks to the drill and whatnot. It's a very sticky metal, but I can now just out of the thing and get rid of the swarf as you're drilling. Okay, we through there. I'll do a bit of cleaning up and get back to you. So hi there. Well, here you go. Here's the new bar now with you know, with these obviously these things going really nice. So we've got a good starting point there. I mean, let's face it, the thing you know, the original isn't exactly a thing of beauty, is it, sort of thing. But I must say, this is where I really miss my old dad. I mean, he taught me everything shed wise that is equipped me to build these guitars and stuff, but he was a real cool metal worker and very much into making clocks and stuff. And if he saw me doing this, he'd be like, "What are you doing there, son? Give it here." And then, you know, a couple of hours later I'd get something beautiful back that was all done in the milling machine and the lathe and everything like that. And yeah, I miss the old boy, actually, I really do. But there we go. So we're getting on now. I think the next thing to do is actually like do the, you know, do the string holes. And this is going to be a bit more difficult, but I don't think it's going to be too bad because we have got, like, you know, we have got an original. I mean, the interesting thing here is that you can see on this one that the string holes are actually, you know, on a 12-inch radius as well. But on this one, these have been drilled through the center of the bar, and then the bar's been bent, sort of thing. But I don't really want to copy that because, you know, I can't even think how the strings went through it. I mean, they went in that way and wrapped underneath, but they were meant to come up through that way and out the top there. Well, I can't do that because I want a, you know, well, no, they'd go through that way and wrap round and come over here. But I don't really want to do that, I don't think. I'd rather sort of go straight through, keep it more conventional, just in case having the string holes through at an angle upsets my filing of the intonation things. But there we go. I think it's time for a cup of coffee and I'll get back to you later. Right, hello there. Getting on with this bridge. What I've done now, I don't know if you can see on there, I've center punched the string holes in there. Now, I didn't do it very technically because I couldn't do it from this because the string holes are an angle and there's no way I could use that as a template and bolt it on top of this bit of metal kind of thing. And what I actually did in the end was I used this bridge piece and I just laid it on top of this kind of, you know, central between the two holes I've drilled there, and I actually marked the position of the strings with a pencil. Now that probably seems very very like haphazard and prone to error, but from experience, whenever I've tried to, you know, space things accurately, you know, with dimensions and all that, you know, the string width divided by 5, and then you mark it all out and you think, well, that's got to be dead right, and then it turns out not to be. It's probably just me, but whenever I do anything like that, I like to do it by eye. So now if we look from the, get my glasses on here, from the edge of the trapeze hole to the first string, we've got 8.2 millimeters. At the other side, got exactly the same 8.2. Now in between the holes where I've center punched for the strings, we've got 9.72, exactly like again, exactly again, exactly again, and exactly again. And I've done that all by eye, and I'm just happier doing it that way. It works for me, sort of thing. I mean, you might be one who can, you know, set up and maybe got better metalworking tools than me. You know, you be able to set up on your like milling cutter or something and wind it along and drill, wind it along and drill and measure. But I haven't got that kind of things. But for me personally, it just seems to be better by eye. And you know, I know, you know, after measuring here, you've just seen how well that worked out. And like I say, what I'm going to do now is drill those 6 holes and then drill bigger holes again, so you've got the string balls can go in there. So I'll get that done and get back to you. Well, hi there. Just been drilling these holes in the bridge and I'm well pleased with that. You can see how nice and straight they are and everything. So I've got the counter sinks for the string balls in there. I took the size off another, you know, tailpiece bridge to do that, and then drilled all the way through, obviously with the string holes. So that all looks good now. So basically, you know, right, hi there. Again, things went a little bit awry because my phone memory filled up. So I had to go in and I carried on working, but then went in and did downloaded the stuff to my computer. But so I don't know how much you caught of this. So I drilled the holes through for the strings. There's the string holes there, and then the clearance hole for the ball end of the strings. And you can see it's at a nice curve. And I basically did this by putting it in my vise and with a really heavy hammer, this type of hammer, just basically bashed the end of this, then put it like further in the vise and bashed it again, just to bend it in steps. And you can, it's surprisingly, I mean, I thought I might have to heat it up to soften it a bit, but it bent okay, no real problems. And you can see that using the 12-inch radius fret fitter, you can see that this is actually bent to a 12-inch radius, and now I've bent this to a 12-inch radius as well. But what I'll be doing is, you know, I'll be filing the top anyway to, you know, to do the intonation thing. So it doesn't have to be like perfect sort of thing. But important thing is, you know, especially with the bending and to hold it when you're drilling and all that sort of thing, leave the bar full length, don't sort of shorten it down or anything, otherwise you just end up having something more fiddly to hold. So we are getting quite close now there. It's surprising, I've been thinking about this in the evenings for like ages. How am I going to do this, how am I going to do that? And in the end, just get on with it and do the bloody thing. And you know, if you make a mess up, just start again. So I'm really pleased with that. That's so these fit nice and snug in here. For some reason it doesn't fit in that hole. No, it fits that way. It's probably just got a burr on the end. But yeah, so we get in there. Now the next thing is I want to do is drill these vertical holes in, and I've got these posts that are going to screw in the body. So I want these to you know, the holes to go in there, but I want slotted holes so I can actually move the bridge slightly back and forth to get a bit more you know, intonation adjustment if needed. So I think it's going to be a little bit awkward, but I'm hoping that you know, it'll be, I mean, I'll be able to do something sort of thing. So I think, not sure what to do next, but maybe drill those vertical holes through for the posts, but I don't know how I'm going to elongate them. But yeah, I think I'll work on that next, work on a plan for doing that. Okie doke. Well, this is going really well, but I wanted to show you one thing This is the original tailpiece bridge, and you can see that, you know, it was obviously bent after these vertical holes were drilled, because you can see how much the you know, the drills are off angle here. You know, they're nearer at the bottom than at the top, sort of thing. So, you know, they obviously the tailpiece was made and then bent, and I didn't want that. Obviously, my you know, with my bridge posts going in the body and stuff like that, I certainly didn't want them splayed out. So I've drilled mine now, drilled these two through, and you know, they're in exactly the same place. Again, I eyeballed it, but very carefully. They're in exactly the same place. But you can see now, let's get my posts out of here. I've drilled them so, you know, that they'll go in the body perpendicular, and then that'll be okay. I mean, obviously this is different than the original 52, because the original 52 bridge just rested on the body on a little conical stand sort of thing. But the problem with that is obviously that, you know, the whole bridge would move sideways quite easily with some hand pressure. So this is what I'm stopping, because these bridge posts will be you know, set in the body like an ABR sort of thing. But like I say, what I want to do is do slots up here, slight slots, so I've just got a bit of movement on the bridge, and I think that's going to probably be the most awkward part of doing this, because don't really, you know, I want the holes to be, you know, as they are there, very tight sort of thing, or not, they're not tight, but they're snug. But I want the bridge to be able to move back and forth just a little bit, so I can intonate a bit more intonation. So I've got to think of a way to elongate these holes, which isn't going to be easy. But so there we go. I think you agree that that was a lot easier than I expected, but I've obviously got to do a lot of work, because I want, you know, I want these knurled wheels to be on a flat surface there, sort of thing. So I've got a lot of filing to do under here and under there, and then I want to file at the top on the bridge, so it's in you know, I've got the intonation pattern sort of thing for the string saddles. But I think we're getting there. I mean, you know, I'm going to wait to cut this excess off, but I'm really pleased with that. So if we, you know, get it like assembled on here, the feet on it now, so we are getting somewhere, and it's looking good, I think. Looking promising anyway. I'm sure I'll be able to make it work, but I'm well pleased with that. So on the guitar then we'll get a very original looking 52. I mean, you know, Mojo Axe do that bridge that you know, that goes across here, that's very, very flat, and you can angle the strings, you know, you can take the strings over it then as normal, not like the 52 where the strings went under. But you know, they've got the problem that the neck is not at the correct, you know, the 52 neck is such a flat pitch sort of thing, that pitch is the wrong word, is at such a flat angle to the body that you do need a much lower bridge. So that's why they've got a flat thing. Obviously I've put on a 3.5 degree neck angle, so I can use this like original looking bridge. So yeah, all good. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to get back to that tomorrow and start filing shapes on it, sort of thing. So well pleased with that, really well pleased. Thank you for watching. Hi there, and welcome back to this Les Paul build. I've been carrying on with this bridge, and you can see from yesterday what I've done is I've actually cut some whatever you call them, steps in the bottom, so the wheels, the adjustment wheels, will sort of go up. You know, they won't be underneath the bridge, they'll actually be in it, sort of thing. So, you know, they won't add any height if they're fully down. You can't see it there now because I haven't cut this to length, but you can see I've filed those steps just basically to the end of where the bridge will be cut off. I'm not sure that I want to cut the bridge off yet because I want to file the intonation slots in it, sort of thing, intonation of the saddles in it, sort of thing. But anyway, I was looking at, I mean, there's the filing of the bottom there. I mean, you've got to do it at an angle, so you know, you're taking away the curve of the bridge so the wheels will fit horizontal on it, sort of thing. I mean, I might have a bit of fettling to do there. Well, hi there. I've marked the intonation or the saddle positions on this and the intonation. What I did was I pushed a drill through the string hole on this, indexed it in there, and then drew across where the saddles are, sort of thing. And you know, it's all eyeball stuff, but I think you know, it'll be good enough because we can space the strings when the strings are on and cut a little groove, sort of thing, for the string. So I'll get filing these now, and well, here we go. Here's my sort of start attempt at the saddles, and I think it's pretty good, actually. You know, I'm pretty pleased with that. When you look at you know, the sort of compensated bridge there on that, you know, you can see I've basically just copied the you know, the layout of the saddles there, sort of thing. You've got to be careful to do this the right way round because strings go in from the front here and then loop round, so don't kind of think it's, you know, multi-directional. You'd have to end up drilling another countersink holes in the back here, you know, if you made that mistake. So I'm pretty pleased with that as a start. Well, here you are. I've got the bridge on now, or it's just set on there, and what so there it is there. I mean, I just think that looks fantastic. I'm really pleased with that, and you know, I'm not really a metal worker, so I'm very happy with the accuracy of it. Normally, you know, whenever I try and do like metal work, I end up like this. It's not liking it, but you know, aluminium is one of the easiest metals to work, that and brass probably, you know. So what I want to do now is just put a straight edge down the neck on top of the frets and see where my saddles come, sort of thing. So if we do this, you can see that the ruler slides over the bridge, and I've got probably a millimetre, and I've also got a raise for action. So I mean, that is probably perfect. The second one is actually resting on the frets and the saddle, but I honestly think that is just going to be perfect. I mean, I've literally, this is on all the frets here, and it's just, you can just see it loose there, but just an absolute fraction of a rock, and it's on the top. And bearing in mind I've got to cut some string slots in the top of the bridge here just to locate the strings, so that'll drop that a bit. The frets have got to drop a little bit because they'll be stoned, and then you've got to add action, sort of thing. So I think it will be, you know, it will be spot on. So it's basically gonna look, there's the other. So we're going to have, you know, we're going to have these. I mean, I know these are gold, but I'll just file the gold off them. So we'll have those under there. You know, we'll obviously have the string posts through into the body sort of thing, but I'll tell you what I'm planning now. So you've got the adjustment wheels underneath, which just stick out a little bit, so that's fine, so you'll be able to get to them with your fingers to do them up. And what, you know, what I was saying was, what I was worried about with this bridge arrangement is, you know, the sustain you'd get, because with it being wrapped round, there's very little downward pressure on the bridge, because the only downward pressure you've got is this hinge point at the back is like lower, so you know you will get a little bit of downward pressure, but not too much. So what I'm gonna get is effectively like what are called, like, these are 4mm metric posts, and you can get like a sleeve nut. It's like a tube basically with what looks like a screw top kind of thing. So it looks like a screw, but it's like hollow, and the inside of it is threaded, so it's like a sleeve that goes over the post. So I want to drill these holes out when I get those nuts, flatten the tops here, and then have a, you know, it'll be a screw down thing that will actually firmly bolt the bridge to the top then, and then, you know, sustain should be good. So I'm really chuffed with that. I'm absolutely over the moon, because it doesn't look. Move back to this this modified 52 bridge. So we got to this stage before. I'm not going to go over things. The last thing we did was put the intonation filed on the top sort of thing. Now we've got these studs, same as ABR studs, that go into the bridge like that, so you can adjust the height of the bridge. But like I was saying, with the 52 bridge design, there's not really a lot of pressure down on the bridge, and how I wanted to do that, I wanted to be able to lock the bridge down sort of thing. And what I've bought is these things, which are called like sleeve nuts. They are actually used quite a lot in modern furniture making, but the problem is they have for that application they have an Allen key head, not a slotted head. So I searched around on the internet and found a set of these, well, not a set, but bought 6 of them, and they've just got a cross head in, which is much more in keeping with 1952. I don't think they even had posi drive then, but so what this does is it's going to screw on the top. You can see how that screws down over the stud, and then basically, so it'll lock it, you know, I'll be able to screw that down and lock it in place on the bridge, so I can actually like clamp the bridge down on top of it, if you like. I may have to actually shorten, you know, cut a little bit off the bottom of the sleeve, but like I say, these are called sleeve nuts. That's what I typed in anyway. And I know from the advert of buying these that they're a metric post, and they're 4mm thread. These fit snugly in there. That's a 4mm hole, but because this is slightly bigger in diameter, I can't screw it on there. So what I want to do now is actually drill these holes out to the diameter of that sleeve, but I want to actually, it's going to be a tricky thing, but I want to actually cut a slot in there, because I want the ability to slide the bridge back and forward to further adjust the intonation. So what I'm going to do in the first instance is try and drill this out. I'm going to actually file some flats on the top first, you know, around the hole sort of thing, and then try and drill a slot in it. So I'll get back to you when I get a bit further down the line doing that. Well, hi there, here you go. This bridge again, I think I've finished it now, other than fitting it. I've just spent about 3/4 of an hour going over it with finer and finer sandpaper, so you can, well, emery cloth, so you can see the kind of finish of it now, which is a little bit rough and ready, but you know, all the tooling scratches are gone and things like that. It just looks like fair wear and tear on it now. And I think, you know, when you compare it to the rest of the bridge, it's about you know, with a little bit of tarnishing now, it will look nice and aged sort of thing. And now you can see how nicely these move, which is like perfect for the intonation. So, you know, you can wind this in and out to move the bridge back and forth, and then do this screw up to clamp the thing back down, and then you've got height adjustment underneath with that. So you know, the thing you haven't got is like you know, a great deal of height adjustment with it, but I think you'll have, you know, you'll have 2 or 3 mil, because with these sleeve nuts, obviously they're screwing down. So if you lower the action really a lot, then, you know, the threaded post goes higher, and then when you screw this down, this will lightly hit the top of the post before you know, I mean, if the top of the post, I mean, comes out above the aluminium, then obviously this won't screw down on it, but you can, you know, you can always file the post or whatever. But I know we'll be good, because, you know, with this just above the body, it's going to be about the right action. So you know, there's no functionality problem with it. It just might take a little bit of jiggery pokery to get it all set, but like, you know, it's really nice now that we've got those slots done, and you can see how neat it looks. Here's the original bar, so it's the same size basically, but addresses all the shortcomings of the thing moving sideways, because you've got the posts in the body, and then, you know, the wraparound bit. But yeah, so really well pleased with that. That's really pleasing, because that all, I think it's going to look super cool getting this on the guitar, you know, with the 52 look sort of thing. But, you know, the later functionality of a wraparound bridge. So I think we're all really good there. Really pleased to get that done. So I think honestly the next job is I'm going to fit this to the guitar, because I can't imagine in the next few days I'll be spraying or anything like that. So I'm going to go in and have a cup of coffee, because to be honest, it's a bit parky out here. So we'll go in and have a coffee and come back out. Well, hello there, and welcome back to 3R Guitars, and actually getting this 52 bridge on here, this custom 52 bridge with the intonation shit. So I think you can see what I've got. I've put bottom and top E strings on. I've just put one screw through the back of the tailpiece here, just to hold it in place. And I know that's central sort of thing. And I've just basically put some temporary tuners on. I mean, they're actually 3 on a plate that I've just taped on, which is really handy, because you don't have to fit anything. So basically it's pretty straightforward what I'm doing here. I've got my tuner set up here. I mean, you won't get things, you know, brilliantly accurate, and unfortunately I can't find a good tuner. Like this is really crappy, but it's good enough. So basically I've tuned both strings up to E. So we tuned at E there, and you know, that's the open string tuned at E. So when I come to here now, the 12th fret, I should get another E, and it's just one dot sharp sort of thing, but these tuners are very old and I'm not going to get any better than that. So you can see that I'm actually in the right place now with the bridge within an absolute fraction. And what I had to do initially was just wind these up a little bit to move the bridge back a little bit, because it was too sharp when I was doing the octave. So what you do, you tune the open E there. Look, we can see we just one dot sharp there actually on the E down there, which is fine. These tuners, like I say, are old. And then when you come to do the octave, you want exactly the same note. And there we go. We just one dot sharp on there. So we just basically, you know, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So we're doing in exactly an octave there from open to 12th fret. If you you know, if when you tune it to the open E and it's, you know, you get the E properly and you fret it at the 12th fret and pluck it again and it's flat, you need to move the bridge forward to make the distance between the 12th fret and the saddle of that E string a bit shorter to sharpen the octave note. If when you fret here, when you fret on the 12th, we get perfect E on the open string, and you fret on the 12th fret and the note is flat, i.e. this length of string from the 12th fret to the bridge is too long, it will be flat, then you want to bring the bridge forward a little bit, and then that'll correct the intonation sort of thing. So we've got the top E string correct there. I'm not too bothered about the bottom E because I want the bridge to be kind of straight anyway across, but I may as well get it right. So, and this is really fickle, this thing with a low string for some reason. Let's do the octave E. So we're well sharp with that there, but I want to get a measurement of the low E. Yeah, it's a very sharp E. It's about 3 to 4 dots up, but if I do it on the octave now, it's the same. Well, hi there, back there. Now I want to drill these post holes for the bridge. Like, I know the intonation thing was a bit of a bit jiggery pokery sort of thing, but you know, I did check it a lot more than demonstrating on the video there sort of thing. So I just wish I could find my better tuner. I don't know where it is, but what I want to do now is drill holes in the middle of these slots so I can go back and forward with the tailpiece. So what I'm interested in now is just basically getting the, you know, the strings like central sort of thing, you know, on the, well, in the right place on the fretboard so the bridge lines up. I mean, actually doing this bridge is easier than doing the wraparound bridge because it's just easier to hold in place when you put the strings on. But I don't like doing this arrangement, you know, positioning any bridge, an ABR or a wraparound bridge, without having strings on, because the thing, while everything is still on and nothing's going to go twang, I just literally just want to put a mark on the body. Now I'm absolutely happy where the strings are. I'm just checking myself. Going to get my glasses on, check that I'm in the middle here of the hole, which I am. So just put a marking hole in. That's slightly too far back, just a bit forward, right in the middle of that slot. Right, So there we are. The one thing with this bridge is I'm not absolutely happy about is the top, where I've filed the top of this sort of saddle for the screw down bit, you know, for this to go through. I mean, it won't matter, but it's just one of those things. You know, it's gonna look fine on there, but this is actually slightly tipped forward. This one looks okay, so obviously I might file that a bit flatter, that side, and just try and make it look a bit better, because this side looks absolutely perfect. That looks absolutely level there. You know, it's not, that sort of landing is not tipped at all, but there it's definitely tipped. So I'm just going to file the back edge of that a bit flatter to try and get it just to look a bit visually better, sort of thing. But there we go. So we've got the bridge mark now, which I'm well happy with. So I'm going to continue. I'll drill deeper with those holes when on the drill press, sort of thing, so we don't get them at a funny angle.